Oh buddy, Andy here again. One of those things that I've noticed of being online is the sort of creation of sort of identities. I know this is something that I've talked about and other people have talked about before, but the way you sort of create an identity, I suppose it depends on how you approach these things, which way you do it. Different people do this in different ways. I tend to use, as you may well be aware, the sort of the Andy Mooseman name, and it's something that I use on most of the sites that I'm on, whether it be Twitter, YouTube, Bloggerheads, Blip FM, and any of the others that I might have accounts for and probably don't actually get around to using. But then you open up an account on Facebook, which I did recently. I'll be perfectly honest with Facebook, I can't get into it too much. Yes, it's quite handy and I sort of dip into it and out of it, but I don't think I'll ever use it the same way that I use Twitter and even Blip, which I've ignored recently, and certainly YouTube. Those are the ones that I think will ultimately become the ones that I stick with, certainly at the moment. Anyway, that's the way it seems to be. But on there, people use their real names. And then people find you and you find out what other people's names. You get friend requests from people and you think, you get an email and it says so and so has added you as a friend, and you think, who on earth is that? Because we've got these sort of different online identities. But one of the other points about this, apart from the fact that people are actually happy to give away their real names, their real identities on something like Facebook, I don't think everybody does, but the vast majority of people do. And even on Twitter, people do it. People use their real names as well. And I remember in the early days of Vloggerheads, people did that as well there. Some people did. I never did. I always tend to use the Andy Mooseman because it's what people know me as now. As I said, you create that sort of identity. And I suppose Facebook is taking it somewhere different. I use that also for people that I used to know years ago and keep in contact with who might have moved away or whatever, apart from all the online friends that I've got as well. But one of those sort of little things that I have noticed is because I'm known as Andy Mooseman, people think that Mooseman is my real name. And I know someone said that they really, that when I said before that I was opening up a Facebook account, they looked for me as Andy Mooseman. And I know other people have expressed surprise when they found out that that isn't my real name. And I do wonder whether people, not being stupid, that's not the right word at all for those of you who know you are, but I thought I've made it plain that Mooseman was just a name that I've made up for an online identity, and but people think of you as that. In some ways it can be looked at as a good thing, I suppose, that people are identifying with you as that. You've created not a character but a persona, I suppose, on all these different sites, and you tend to use the same sort of name all the time. And people know you as that, and I suppose you could understand why people could call you Mr Mooseman or Andy Mooseman or so. And I've even seen people use my name in comments on other people's videos or whatever they've done, response videos or something along those lines. And it appears to me that that's what they're doing. They're using my Mr Mooseman, as two words, as like a first name and a surname, rather than just an ordinary name. And I always start it off with the lowercase. I always write it in lowercase all the time, letters, rather than sort of capital A. It's all lowercase. So anyway, I just thought I'd put that out there quick, just a thought that came to me the other day. I'm wondering why people were thinking about this, and maybe we look into this too much. I don't know, maybe this is one of those throwaway videos that no one's going to relate to, but an interesting thought for me personally, that people think that. I suppose it's nice that people are thinking about you. It's nice that people recognise who you are, and maybe they think that Andy Mooseman is a normal person, an ordinary person, and it's just me. It's what I'm like outside with my real name on Facebook or whatever. And it's not hard to find out what my real name is if you go through other things that I do and I've spoken about in the past, and that probably goes for everybody else as well. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. So thanks for your time. I'll speak to you again soon. Goodbye.